back to our YouTube channel. Today we have a new mini-series, all right? We actually gonna talk about how to run a recruitment business and some interesting topic for all the recruitment entrepreneurs, wannabes out there.
Hey, Matt and Alex, how you guys doing today?
We're good. Looking forward to answering some insightful, difficult, probing questions. So I think client and candidate ownership typically is, it is what it sounds like. It's when the consultant owns the client or the candidate. So you brought in the client, it's your client. You source the candidate, it's your candidate. So if somebody else places one of your candidates, typically you're going to get a fee split. You're going to get some of the fee coming to you. And if you place somebody else's candidate in your client, well, you're going to give them some of the money as well. You're actually not getting 100% of the fee. You're going to give some bits away. And conversely, if you're really good at generating candidates, you might be making some passive placements because your colleagues are placing all your candidates basically.
I would say the boutiques will have a candidate ownership and client ownership system embedded within the business. The big firms will not have it.
Some of them do though. A couple of the big boys do.
A couple, but less likely.
It's less likely.
Less likely.
Yeah.
I would say.
There are pros and cons, right? Because we have a system where there's no ownership, right? So technically, if you join our business, every single candidate on the database is your candidate, and if you place that candidate, you get all the fee. So the downside of our system is that, because we're a team-based company, so if you've got a team of 4 people, and one guy's generating loads of candidates, and his colleagues are just placing all those candidates, then that's not really very fair, because they're just literally using this person's work and benefiting from it. So, I think in order to make the system run smoothly, and I think it does here, you've really got to make sure that everybody pulls their weight. Everybody has to generate a minimum amount of candidates. And if everybody does that,
eventually you're going to place this candidate.
Eventually you're going to win, and your colleague may place one and you may place one of theirs, and actually you end up generating more candidates and the whole team wins. But if there's an imbalance,
then the person,
there could be a winner and a loser in that scenario. From our perspective, we have an element of client ownership in that you work those roles with one client. You don't have 2 or 3 recruiters working on the same type of role with the same client, because that makes it clean. But every fee in our business is, if you make a placement, you get 100% of the fee. It's really simple. Yeah, I think our philosophy is more around, we think if you make a placement within a company, because we got lots of different teams, so we cover all the different job functions within a client. So if you're more likely to make a placement with a client, other teams will benefit because the client's going to give you more jobs. Everybody wins. Yeah. So for our model, you kind of have to believe in the fact that in order to succeed as an individual, the best way to do that is to operate effectively as a team. I think, from a company's perspective, there is some logic behind it too, because you can, depending on what rules you have in place, you can keep your database fresh, because you may say, okay, if you register a candidate, you're going to own that candidate for 1 year. But after that, the next person to speak to them and get an update, then they own that candidate. So it does encourage people to call candidates, especially when their ownership is expiring. I think what we would rather have is people calling them
because
all the time. All the time, not just waiting for that ownership to expire and then thinking, okay, I can get a candidate here, and that's under my name, right? And like you said, the real old school recruitment companies which never intend to be big and they just want to protect the guys that have been there a long time. Well, that ownership never expires for those guys. And in fact, when someone leaves,
they will take them.
Guess what? Yeah, those candidates are now under my name, and my own ownership group of candidates is even bigger. So it can work a few different ways.
Yeah, increasing the chances for the guys at the top to make more passive money without actually having to place. So we're not a fan of it because hypothetically, you could be the top biller of the company and actually be not a recruiter but a resourcer because you just own the database. I don't think it's very convenient for the guys that actually are researching and actually doing the deals, right? For every newcomer, you have a huge tax that you have to pay on the database, you know? So it's very, I think, profitable for the business, especially if you're a small business owner, I would say, because all the placement are half of the fee are split, therefore less likely an individual recruiter will get over a threshold or a draw system, right? So the money is more distributed among people, therefore the owner pays less commission to the employees. If you're a company that wants to scale or wants to build a database, there are two elements that actually are also really important to consider. Most of the time, if you do have an ownership model, it actually decreases the amount of candidates that actually get put on the system, and in terms of data entry and compliance, all this kind of stuff, you can set all the rules that you want. There's going to be a huge amount of conflicts, So I was a manager in this firm, and literally, like, I'm not joking, but like 1 or 2 hours a day, I was involved in dealing with ownership issues of my team with other people. It's like, hey, this candidate should have been flipped. They didn't contact him, they placed it, this is my candidate, no, this is my candidate. I called him, but I didn't log the call. I did this, I did that, and you spend 1 or 2 hours a day just dealing with other managers and saying, my guy is right, your guy is right, which is a nice.
It drives behaviour, which is not actually recruitment behaviour either.
Well, we're hiring. I think we're pretty much done for January. April, as usual, we're kind of looking for always 5 to 10 people every quarter. So again, if you're interested in working in recruitment and you don't want to pay any tax on the database and with clients, just send us your application. I'm very happy to have a chat with you. Like, subscribe, share.
Or dislike. Do you know what I read recently? That if you don't downvote if you don't like it, if you like it, but if you downvote the video for the algorithm, that's not bad either.
Is it?
So either like or dislike the video, depending on how you actually felt.